Hey, have you ever given or donated to charity? How about volunteering in your community? Billions of dollars a year are used in philanthropic ways, and Prudential is no exception, especially in today's hard economic times. My name is Courtney Bayne, and I have done extensive research through philanthropic filings from Prudential, various philanthropic journals, and business databases like Business Source Complete and Business Source Global. Some of the things that I'm going to talk about today are Prudential's local initiatives, social investments, and the Prudential Foundation. So, just to start talking about Prudential, they were founded in 1875, and they're actually a financial services company, and they focus mainly on retirement planning and investments, life and group insurance policies, and real estate business. And they service 35 countries worldwide. What I think is so cool about Prudential is that in today's economy, a lot of us don't have any faith in the finance industry whatsoever with what happened in 2008. Prudential has not given up on us, though. They still have faith in the communities that they service. And so, in saying that, they try to make philanthropy work for them. They do this by making socially conscious investments that help the communities where their employees work and live. And this helps Prudential by increasing their profits. They're not just donating money. And at the same time, they're fulfilling their social responsibility to the communities that they service. And on their website, there's actually a message from the chairman of the Prudential Foundation talking about the economic stresses of today. And it says that, yes, Prudential is totally aware of the volatile economic times that we're in, but they're not giving up on their customers, and they're not giving up on the nonprofits that they service. And their main goal is to help those nonprofits and those small businesses stabilize themselves and become sustainable businesses in the long term. So that's some ways that Prudential makes philanthropy work for them. So the main ways that Prudential makes a difference in today's economy is through its Community Resources Department. This is the section of Prudential that houses all of its charitable dealings. And the three areas of its charitable dealings are on this slide. The first one is its local initiatives. The second area of Prudential's big three, as I like to call it, is the social investments section. And the third, and what I think is the largest, is they're called the Prudential Foundation. And through these three groups, Prudential strives to improve the economy and the community, and it really focuses on helping underprivileged youth, small businesses, education, and furthering high-quality public education, and housing, affordable housing, and sustainable housing, as well as mass transit systems and lots of others. So now we're going to get a closer look at these three areas. So the first area I'm going to talk about is the local initiatives of Prudential. This is where they make the general charitable donations, but there are some other pretty cool programs that they have. One is Prudential Cares. This is the brand name for all of the local initiatives that are led by Prudential employees specifically in the communities where they live. The employees are involved in enhancing the businesses around them through community service, and it helps connect Prudential employees and businesses with nonprofits in the area. Then there's another program called Global Volunteer Day. This is where the company-wide volunteering is encouraged, and it's usually a day in October. Then there's the Backpack Challenge. This aids foster children that are in transition between one home to another home. And everybody in Prudential will get together and fill backpacks with things these children might need, like pajamas, personal care products, blankies maybe, and cameras to actually document this stressful time in their life. And finally, there's a thing called Community Engagement Councils. And these are small groups of Prudential employees that get together in their communities and help promote volunteer activities with not just employees, but also normal citizens of the area. So these are some of the local initiatives Prudential has, and next we're going to talk about the social investments. So we've talked about local initiatives, and now we're going to talk about social investments Prudential does. And the social investments section of Prudential was established in 1976, and since then they've actually made $1.5 billion in investments that they call impact investments, which typically go beyond like the traditional type of investment, because these specifically aim to have an economic return that have measurable results impacting the society and the environment. So the social investment section really focuses on investments that create affordable housing in communities and also help preserve them. They also want to improve access to quality education for the community's citizens. And they really want to connect these neighborhoods and residents to economic growth opportunities that help create, career goals and opportunities to better themselves in the long run. And the social investments also partners a lot with the Prudential Foundation, and I'll talk about that in just one second. So we've already talked about social investments and the local initiatives of Prudential, and now we're going to talk about the really big thing that I'm excited about that's called the Prudential Foundation. Every year, the Prudential Foundation invests more than $25 million in grants to help revitalize communities that are struggling across the United States. They really focus on 4 main areas, and those are areas of economic development, education, arts, and culture. They really strive in education because they believe that no matter what your background is, everybody deserves high quality public education. That's a right for everybody. And it's essential to create a thriving community. So they really help focus on education, economic development to foster leaders and entrepreneurship and technical savviness throughout the community. And they really focus on arts and culture because how often when school budgets get decreased, the arts program, the music program, those are always the first thing to get cut. And the Prudential Foundation has always had a really strong commitment to arts and culture because they feel like those are 2 things that really reflect the value that we place on our quality of life, and they feel like it enriches the community. So they really invest in cities that are struggling to maintain these 4 areas, like Chicago, Los Angeles, Dallas, Houston, Scranton, Pennsylvania, and New Orleans. And they've also pushed the Prudential Foundation outside of the United States borders to countries like Brazil, Japan, Korea, Mexico, Taiwan. The Prudential Foundation is their cornerstone of their philanthropic efforts. And they really want to make positive differences in communities, especially those communities that Prudential employees specifically live and work. So I think that that's a really cool thing. I don't think a lot of companies have something like this. And I really think the Prudential Foundation is a really great way for them as a company to help in hard economic times like we have right now. So in conclusion, Prudential is not just a financial services company. They do a lot of things in the local community, the national community, and the global community. They have several local initiatives. They contribute to a lot of social investments. The Prudential Foundation does a whole lot of different things for education, arts, culture, and economic development. And there's so many more programs and things I didn't even have time to discuss today. But they're actually really cool. And the whole thing that I took away from this research I did was whether or not you work for Prudential, you can still take some of their values and implement them in your own life. And basically what I took away is that you yourself, I can be a leader and I can show by example and lead by example and really try to be a positive contributor to my community. So if you have any questions about anything I talked about, if something interests you, or if you wanted to know about how you can help some of the efforts I talked about, my email is on this slide, so feel free to shoot me an email and we can further discuss the questions that you have. And I thank you so much for listening to me today, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.